Did you know that Eric Johnson only phrases his fast lines so that they are economy picked? And did you know that he almost exclusively uses a downward pick slant when he's picking? Like, he doesn't pick Paul Gilbert style lines that often, really ever. And it's because it's not really his strength. Yes, of course, it's about the music for him a lot and how it sounds with those pentatonics, but it's not his picking strength. He capitalized on what his hands do best, which is economy picking and a downward pick slant. And it's similar with Eddie Van Halen. He hardly ever strictly alternate picked. You know, he would add in like hammer-ons and pull-offs to his alternate picking, but his strength was legato and tapping. And he built his entire style and his entire sound around that. And that's how a lot of the guitar players that you probably idolize do it. They have a thing, they capitalize on their strengths. And for a decade, I didn't really know that. I was copying, my favorite guitar solos note for note, trying to do the same exact way that they picked it, the same fingering, the same technique and everything. And I was just staying stuck basically. But the moment that I discovered my own strengths and had the courage to actually just go with it without having to play it exactly like my guitar hero played it, that's when my skill really took off. And that's also when 10-year-old plateaus completely disappeared, pretty much some of them within literally months. That's not to say you shouldn't work on your weaknesses, but finding your strengths and capitalizing on them is the fastest way to build insane skills on the guitar. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that so you can start shredding your favorite solos and writing your favorite solos and playing those lines that have been keeping you stuck for years, because there is a way to play them if you figure out what your strengths are. But how do you actually find your strengths? Because it's not just about practicing more, it's about practicing with a specific kind of attention. You need to deeply study individual skills like alternate picking, sweep picking, legato, things like that, and understand exactly what's happening inside of each skill. And once you start doing that, you'll realize that certain skills, certain aspects of skills are really your strengths, and that's what you got to run with. So here's exactly how I did that with alternate picking. So I was stuck with alternate picking for years, and I'm still working on my weaknesses, but the only way I was able to play, those really fast, cool lines like I did at the beginning of the video is because I found out a specific strength in alternate picking, and I ran with that, and I phrased my solos and my runs so that they fit my strength. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. So I decided to do a deep dive on alternate picking, not just practicing it, but actually studying the mechanics of how it works and how the pros do it. And luckily I discovered people like Troy Grady who really dive deep into the mechanics of alternate picking. Luckily I got a teacher and a guitar mentor, I call him, who helped me learn it as well. And this is when I discovered pick slanting. And if you don't understand pick slanting, I'm not going to go into it deeply right now, but I have a whole entire video on it. I'll link it at the end of this video. But I think it's really crucial for understanding alternate picking for most people. All right, so I've added in this camera here. So basically what pick slanting says is it says that there are two types of ways to slant your pick. Either upwards like this so that you can clear a string easier, or downwards like this so that you can clear a string easier. It's just a way to slant your pick so that you can hop over strings in a more smooth manner. So without making this video all about pick slanting, I just want you to understand that I discovered that picking with a slight upward pick slant felt way more natural. Like my speed could get way faster and a lot more relaxed and a lot more clean with this pick slant, or even more of a neutral rather than a downward pick slant like Marty Friedman or Yngwie Malmsteen uses. They use more of a downward pick slant, and I like a little bit more of a flush, neutral, or even upward pick slant. Now, this was really important because there are certain phrases that favor that pick slant. So any phrase that ends a pick stroke on a downstroke before it moves to the next string, so like you're picking and it's a downstroke and then you go to the next string, that's going to allow you to use an upward pick slant. So if I'm picking, I do a downstroke, and then I go to the next string. Where I'm picking, I do a downstroke, and I go to the next string. So basically, I would start creating or even mutating phrases that I knew so that the last stroke on a string would end on a downstroke before I went to the next string. And this allowed me to stay in this upward pick slant position that felt really good to me. And I was able to get to higher speeds, higher than I ever thought possible. Like that phrase at the beginning of the solo, it goes like this. Sorry, I'm in a weird position. So the phrase at the beginning, a little bit slower. But basically that phrase, if you watch it slowly, the last pick stroke on each string before I go to a new string is a downstroke. Watch. So it's down, up, down, and then I move to a new string. And then it's up, down, down, new string. Up, down, down, new string. Down, even on this descending line. Even on that descending line, every pick stroke, the last pick stroke on each string before I move to a new string is a downstroke. So this favors my upward pick slant, which feels a lot more comfortable. Now, don't get me wrong, I still try to practice my downward pick slant, but most of us only have a limited time. I really only have an hour of practice that I can do a day. So I figured if I really want to get to the speeds that I want to get to, and if I really want to start playing like my guitar heroes, I have to run with my strengths. I have to tweak things so that they favor what I'm naturally good at, so I can get better a little bit faster. And then on the side, I'm working on some of my weaknesses. To wrap that first point up, one thing I do is I dove into alternate picking. I found out that upward pick slant was a really nice position for me. It unlocked speed for me, so I started phrasing everything so that it favored an upward pick slant. And again, if you don't understand pick slanting, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about if you click the video at the end of this video. So another way that I play to my strengths to get much better than I would have otherwise got and faster is with hybrid picking. So actually combining hybrid picks with alternate picking. So that going back and forth between strings was much easier. Because hybrid picking was already something natural and easy for me. I spent years doing finger picking and like classical style guitar, so just using my fingers with the pick just felt natural to me. So it's this idea of using my hybrid pick to avoid having to hop my pick across a string and then back. So let me show you exactly what I mean. So there's these Paul Gilbert style phrases that require you to like jump across a string and then back like really fast. Where it's like 1, 2, 3, cross the string, one stroke, and then go back. 1, 2, 3. See how much faster and cleaner I could do that with a hybrid pick? So the other day, for example, I'll just punch in this clip because it was just a one-off moment where I created this phrase, this big long phrase, and I'll show you in slow motion in a second, but check it out. This is just all using this hybrid picking mixed with alternate picking technique because it was my strength. So you can see on the close-up here with the phrases, it's building on this like back and forth hybrid pick. You can see when I do this, it's 1, 2, 3, my pick can stay here. It doesn't have to cross all the way over and back because my middle finger hits the string and then I can keep picking. And then to make this phrase work and keep building and ascending, what I did was anytime I had to cross a string with my pick, I made it so it favored the upward pick slant like we talked about, which means that the last pick stroke on the string had to be a downstroke. So it would be like 1, 2, 3, hybrid pick, and then back, 1, 2, 3, and then a downstroke, and then I can continue and repeat that phrase on the next string. So it's like this. And I just kept doing that on each string. So a little bit slower, you can see where I hybrid pick, and you can see anytime I do cross my pick over the plane of the strings, it's after a downstroke. Watch. Missed a note there, but. Still working on that type of phrasing, but even at that, you know, with a little bit of sloppiness and that speed, like I would have never been able to do that quickly if I didn't capitalize on my strength. So to find your strengths and to truly capitalize on them and get faster and better faster than you ever thought possible, you have to study skills independently from each other. Ideally from someone who knows the mechanics of them really well, knows how to teach them. And then from there, you need to find, you know, what are your strengths? What skills are your strengths? And also inside each skill, you know, what type of movements are your strengths so that you can really run with those. And I mentioned a couple guitarists at the beginning who do this. There's lots of others. I mean, Matteo Mancuso, if you don't know who Matteo Mancuso is, you gotta look him up. He's a fingerstyle shredder. And that's another example. Like he was like, I'm not using the pick at all, but I'm still gonna play as fast as the greatest guitarist of all time. And he just went with his strength, what felt most natural to him. And he's now known as like one of the greatest. He's gonna go down as one of the greatest guitarists literally ever. So go out there, study the mechanics from the ground up, find your natural movements that suit you the best, and then build your phrases around it. If you want to dive deep into picking and pick slanting and figure out, you know, what your strengths are there, go ahead and click this video right here, and I'll see you in the next one.